We did it, guys. We won again. Ultra Vegito Blue is entering a second prime. This is actually crazy. I can't believe they chose him out of all the options to end off the 8th anniversary. But in hindsight now, I think it was a really good decision. I think it was one of the better decisions actually, because of how the meta has unfolded and for the simple fact that it fulfills the prophecy. The continuation of Vegito showing up in every single anniversary, all the way from the 1st to the 8th in one way, shape or form, whether it's a new release, a high rarity release, a sparking, or a Vegito gets a buff so that he can be included in the celebration. And as you can see, Ultra Vegito Blue is doing just that, and honestly he did a great job crashing the game this morning. So many people saying that Dragon Ball Legends was down for 40 minutes. That's nuts. You know, you don't even need to summon on this guy. A lot of people don't need to. Obviously if you don't have him then you would, but literally most people have this guy, so they're just getting the platinum equipment and he's crashing the game. Definitely brought back a lot of OGs because Ultra Vegito Blue, he is a one-of-one unit, and like I told you, I'm going to be insufferable because of this guy. I already have been. On Twitter I've been posting, people have been raging under my replies. Not many people, which is good. A lot of you guys are waking up and switching over to the good side. Vegito owns Dragon Ball Legends. The quicker you accept that, the quicker you can enjoy this game every anniversary. Gohan here, there, take over. Gohan Ball Legends, it's toxic, I do agree, but when it comes to making the game peak, Vegito gonna do it every single time. Bread and butter, it's simple and it works. But regarding PvP, people always tell me I should speak on my experience, and I streamed yesterday for 3 hours, and when I say I had a glorious time, I had a fantastic time using Ultra Vegito Blue, as I should have, because he is him. Let's talk about it. Just like Vegeta said, I need 15 lousy seconds, but he needed a minute. I stream on Twitch and I play games that are not Dragon Ball Legends. Here are some games I played recently, and a lot of people have been asking me. I have a second channel where I'm trying to upload the full gameplays there, but if you want to catch me live and see VODs, come over to the Twitch, Zach Infinity. Otherwise, the gameplay's on Zach X. All support is appreciated, and it's unironically much more fun there. A follow and subscribe will go a long way, but enjoy the rest of this video. PvP right now is being run by 2 units. Now granted, you do not need, and I want to emphasize the word need, to survive in this meta these 2 units. I worded that very horribly, but you know what I'm saying. Ultra Vegito Blue and Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. These 2 Ultras, you don't need them to survive, but if you don't have them, whatever else you are using better have high investment, and it better have good synergy with good equipment. I've seen some people use game originals, for example. That means they're running Shallot, they're using Zaha, and they might run Shallot. Some people run the Super Saiyan 2 version for the endurance, or they would use Goku and Bardock, the other game originals unit, and then they Zenkai buff accordingly, so Shallot can do a lot of damage. That's just one variation of a team you can run. Other people, they run Future, and yes, Future is very runnable without Ultra Vegito Blue. You've got Gohan and Trunks, and you've got the 2 Goku Blacks who will give you great results. I've even seen some people run Hybrid Saiyans. You've got Gohan, Trunks, and the 2 Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, so the one from the Cell Saga, Revival unit, Super Saiyan 2 post and pre, and we've also got the Bojack Gohan that's got a Zenkai. He is Super Saiyan 2 only post. That Hybrid Saiyan team does work, and it does a lot of damage. Sure, you are more vulnerable with these teams, so you can't make as much more mistakes, but if you have them high invested because you like these units, you can get as far as if people were using Ultra Vegito Blue or Boo Bros. Naturally, it's not going to be the same, it's not going to be equal, but the point being, every team has its thing. But naturally, certain teams will just be better if you had these units. For example, Majin Buu Saga right now, you run Boo Bros, and then you can fit along Shin, Super Vegito if you wish. You could also just run Saiyans through and through. Boo Bros, Ultra Vegito Blue. Those 2 I mentioned are controlling the game, then you add on whoever you want. I think I said Ultra Gogeta Blue, but I meant Vegito Blue, but there's also Ultra Gogeta Blue. There's Broly as well. You've got options here, as you can see. And of course, Fusion Warriors, because of Ultra Vegito Blue, you're going to be running LR Super Vegito, Ultra Gogeta Blue, or Shallot, the new LR. There's a plethora of choice, and when I say my PvP experience with Ultra Vegito Blue has just been switch in, remove their vanish when they hit me with a strike, so they strike me mid-range or something, or we're close range and they strike me and I hit a vanish. It doesn't even have to be a PV. I switch out from whoever I was using, bring in Ultra Vegito Blue, like the absolute rat Ultra Vegito Blue is. Press my main ability because 20 timer counts has passed, and whoever's on the battlefield, given they don't have endurance and buff cancellation, is literally going to get nuked. Or I would only do that after I take out their endurance, because other units can also just do a lot of damage. For example, Boo Bros and Vegito Blue. I like with Broly, so the green legend rarity Broly, he only has one buff cancellation. So what I've been doing is using the blue rose, and all I need to do is get the ult off while he's on the battlefield, so his buff cancellation just disappears, and then Ultra Vegito Blue is free to nuke, and every single time he's a one-shot. Granted, my UVB is 14 stars, but even if you had in 10 stars, he'll be fine, and you've had 3 years to do so. If you're a new gen, sorry, you just gotta hold that star diff. But this is not a case where you could really use stars for a unit that's been in the game for 3 years. If you really liked him, you could have chased him all the time. Was it optimal to chase him when he wasn't exactly meta? Yes, because he was always meta. UVB never left the top 10. Anyways, other PvP experiences I'm having between Boo Bros and UVB, they're basically the same thing. The only difference is Boo Bros has survivability because they go into the prep time. They also tank a bit better and have a bit of disrupt, but the trade-off of having all of that is that their spirit bomb takes a while. Yes, it was going off before all the time. That's based in it not having any counters. It's Boo Bros nuke or you lose. That's literally how the games were going all the time. But now UVB doing so much damage, it's literally a thing where UVB can get his ult off before Boo Bros get anywhere near their spirit bomb. So if UVB gets the ideal scenario, it could be the case that Boo Bros are dying before UVB, and that's crazy because he's a red unit. Even just verbalizing it, it doesn't feel like it makes sense. It doesn't feel like a reality. This red is knocking down Boo Bros a blue down a peg. That's nonsense. That's actually nonsense. But I want to say it makes sense because in this case, somebody asked me, do you think they don't like Vegito Blue because they always drop him around a powerful blue? If you guys don't know, in his prime, he was going up against Gold Frieza. Granted, they are half purple as well, so they're blue and purple, but there was also MVP 17, so Universe Rep had 2 blues and he had to fight against that. Then again, going further down the line in the festival, or just before it, they dropped Ultra Super Janemba to make sure they finished the job. Didn't do a great job, that guy, but you can see that they're dropping him in scenarios that are not favorable. But what I think is the case is they like him so much that instead of just dropping him in a regular meta where they'd have to nerf him because if there's no blue, he would destroy everybody as he's doing right now. So they drop him in a meta where there is a strong blue to give him the actual excuse of being a nasty unit. So everybody else just gets absolutely obliterated, just gets railed from Ultra Vegito Blue strike arts, blast arts, blue card, the green card counter, and also his ultimate arts. But then Boo Bros are the ones that could fight back because they're blue. Goku Black Rose as well. So the only way to balance that out is to make him a bit more powerful so that it's fair. And I think that makes total sense. They like him so much, they just want him to have the excuse to be cracked. And that's what they've done. I've literally just been fighting uphill all the time against blues, and it doesn't feel like I'm fighting uphill. It feels like I'm fighting down sometimes. I literally get Boo Bros to half health with Ultra Vegito Blue in nanoseconds. And that's crazy to me, literally. So if I had to say between both of them, I would say Ultra Vegito Blue is better because he can do everything Boo Bros can do besides from the disrupt just earlier in the battle. And they have similar stats, just less disrupt on Vegito Blue's end. But the consistent type neutral is absolutely bonkers, bro. Every single gauge fill, just pressing the strike and your type neutral. Do you know how much damage I'm dishing out? It's mad. Average rise and rush is 10 M's up. Brother, that is not fair. And don't get me started on units that do not have survivability. Gohan and Trunks, please be careful out here. Even the guys that do have survivability, for example, Super Saiyan Gohan, that goes into Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, so the Bojack Gohan, that guy is like a feather in the face of UVB. It's so tough. It's so tough. But I'm not complaining. The reason I'm not complaining is because I feel like he was one of the better choices, like literally. And that might sound crazy to say, but in hindsight, I really think he was one of the better choices for the platinum equipment. Ideally, everybody was hoping for it to be UGB or something safer. There were obviously the UVB supporters, and honestly, the way it was pushing with the events and the raids and whatnot, it was looking to be Vegito Blue, but people wanted it to be of something else because other people quote unquote deserved it more. For example, Ultra Vegito Blue. But I want to raise an argument that I would say Ultra Vegito Blue would have been the worst thing for this celebration. Honestly, I would say he's one of the worst things, not just the worst, but you could argue he's the worst as well if he got the platinum equipment. Let me answer why. The first thing is that he would be as cracked as UVB, and I think that's undeniable, and that's what people want, right? But that would be the worst thing, and this would literally crash the celebration. Why would it crash the celebration? 2 of the celebration units, one of them is a defensive type and one of them is a ranged type, but they're both green. Who am I talking about? Broly and Shallot. These 2 units would get squashed by UGB. Right now in the meta, there are a lot of reds, but there's not many yellows, so we don't have to worry about any yellows for the reds to overpower, which makes it safe for reds to run the game. Also, Ultra Vegito Blue's necessity in terms of elements that already exist that are red isn't very high. Ultra Vegito Blue 2.0 is red, Gohan and Trunks are half red, so you do not need a UVB to be in the meta right now. But that's exactly why he's a better choice, because he will not impact the meta negatively, more so also just positively because he's a unit that people like. He's a choice. You can use him, or you could just use Ultra Vegito Blue and get similar results. Of course, UVB is much better, so people are using him, but all he's doing is replacing somebody already in his position, and doing that doesn't shift the meta too highly or too low. You know what I'm saying? If we had UGB, it would literally knock out Shallot. He's out the top 10 immediately overnight, and he'd also knock out Broly because Broly can't take a hit from UGB, the OG. So having that purple come into the meta at UVB's level would have been the worst thing, and I would argue the same for the likes of Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta because they are purple. When it comes to other elements, red is the best choice in my opinion, or one of the better choices because of what we're seeing right now, and we're in hindsight so we can argue that. And then in regards to other elements that I think would be okay, blue would be okay because you're doing the same thing UV is doing in regards to the red. You're fitting in that position of a blue, so you become an option. If they drop Janemba, he's now an option fitting in with Boo Bros and Rose. If they drop Turles, he's now an option. However, because Turles is very tanky and has survivability, that could cause a negative situation. I want to put that out there. And also beyond from that, I think if they dropped the green, it would have been fine too. So in regards to greens, it's just Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan if I'm not mistaken, but he's somebody that people really wanted as well. But that's fine because we have Broly and Shallot. So now there's an option available within the pool of things that already exist, which would be the most ideal scenario for PvP. If we get a yellow or we get a purple, PvP shifts too heavily, and that's not what we want in this meta right now. The anniversary was already very successful, and just knocking it in a way where we're stuck with one team owning the game is not what we want in the situation right now. But now we're seeing Boo Bros being run with Majin Buu Saga, we're seeing them run with Saiyan, we're seeing Future, we're still seeing Hybrid Saiyans, we're seeing Fusion Warriors, we're seeing powerful opponents. You've got all these options, it's a plethora of choice, and that's what makes the meta great, because no matter what you like and what you use, you can succeed, you can have fun, and nobody can beat you if you care about the thing that you're actually choosing to use. And I think that's what makes this experience right now great. Ultra Vegito Blue, thank you for dropping in Dragon Ball Legends. I do think it was a great choice overall. I'm happy myself because, as you guys know, I am UVB. UVB is me. I love this guy. He's my favorite unit of all time. I've got so many reasons for why he's my favorite unit. I will always back this unit. I'll always push agenda. Second prime, never left the top 10. Right now he's top 1 in the game. I'm standing on that, but I'm gonna see in the next couple days and actually give a genuine, like, serious opinion on who I think is number 1. But right now, at the time I'm recording this video, I do truly think that Ultra Vegito Blue is number 1 in Dragon Ball Legends. But yeah, anything else I want to say about this meta experience or UVB dropping? Honestly, he's just beautiful, man. He's easy to play, and I also think that's a big factor for why people like him. With Fusion Warriors, they always get it right when it comes to easy to play alongside Gohans. If a unit is easy to play, you just press cards and it just works for you, everybody will enjoy it. Obviously, when you get to the competitive end, it gets a little irritating depending on their kit, for example with the UI Gokus. But when things are easy to play, it puts you in a position where you can win a lot of games, and people that don't usually win, they just have a unit autopiloting them. To a degree, that does irritate a lot of people, but I think when it comes to pure enjoyment, you're getting what you want out of it, and that's fine. I know there's a lot of people in part 1 that literally didn't even know how to use Gogeta auto counter, therefore they're not enjoying him as much as they could. And with Broly, a lot of people didn't even know how to transform, so it's a bit more complex when it's dependent on the opposite end, but UVB is not like that. Boo Bros as well, it takes a lot of time to get to the Spirit Bomb, so you might not even see it in a game. Some people don't, or they're just dying on the opposite end because the other person got the Spirit Bomb. You know, you're not really seeing the whole kit in your average game, but with UVB and the rest of the Fusion Warriors, you see everything that they offer in every single game. Games go quicker, normal time account legends. It's just a lot of good stuff, man. I know I sound like I'm just glazing the hell out of Vegito Blue's influence on the game right now, but it's really what comes out of it. Less thinking, more enjoyment. You're autopiloting with good vibes. All this super high calculated going to 0 time accounts is really stressful. It's really overwhelming, overstimulating. It's not what you really want to deal with. Rising Rush is not having impact, and then again, you could argue on the opposite end, Rising Rushing having too much impact isn't good, and I do agree with that. But now there's a mix of both, so it's not like Rising Rush is the end all be all. Oh, there's just so much good I could say, but you guys are getting the point. So I'm kind of rambling right now, but I think it was very necessary to drop this video, as my last video before I'm dropping this is literally saying I will be insufferable. So let me have it, man. Let me have it. Let me have it. I appreciate you guys watching the video if you made it all the way to the end. This is a pure ramble, man, but UVB, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dragon Ball Legends developers. This is honestly my favorite celebration ever. 8th anniversary. Topping the 6th anniversary is crazy. I'm not happy the part 3 leaked, but in terms of playing experience, I don't think I've been this fruitful, this happy since maybe the 6th. And even then, part 2 was here, there, and before that, maybe the 1st anniversary. Wow, like Dragon Ball Legends right now is genuinely peak. Balance, peace, fun. Chef's kiss, man. Chef's kiss, man. Take care, you guys.